The stories you've never heard.
Who did Susie O'Neill famously slap?
The jokes behind the jokes.
What would happen if I did a great big fart?
For the first time ever on Ash, Lachie, and Susie O'Neill.
I just peed a pants.
We go behind the laughter.
One day, Lachie, one day we'll actually have all three of us in the studio together again. I don't know where Alicia is. Yeah, I know. It was me last week. Thank you for dragging me into the podcast. Deep down, you know what? I couldn't have missed it. I mean, I missed you guys. Just being away from you felt weird. But no, hello, welcome. This is the Producers Podcast, taking you behind the scenes of everything Ash, Lachie, and Susie. Susie's away again. We don't know which Indonesian island she's at because she can't go to the one that she was at because the Russian oligarchs stole that, ruined that for her. Yeah. So anyway, she's enjoying a little bit of a break, and we've got Kendall filling in with us at the moment, who's doing great stuff. And Lachie, you're in the studio with me as well. Sorry, that sounded like we were just going, and Lockie's with me as well.
No, that's fine. Is it
okay that you have like second top billing there? Is that all right?
In terms of between Alicia and I, or?
Oh, well, I mean, if we want to discuss this now, it's always best to discuss someone about something when they're not here.
Yeah. I know that I am the lowest in the chain.
I put your name second when I do the podcast bio, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Alicia and Lachie, or Nick, Alicia, Lachie. I don't know which order. I'm okay being last.
That's all right.
In the list, because do you know what it means? Ash, Lachie, and Susie O'Neill. Susie's the one who gets the going last. Ooh. She does get the double name as well.
Double barrel. Fair enough. Enough. Anyway, so we're 3 days into the week. It is 10:08 on a Wednesday. 3 days in, I was out in the streets today.
You were?
Buzz was taking a bit of time off, take care of his daughter. Mitch behind the wheels, and a bit of a
different show.
Different show.
A very different show. I was going to say at the very beginning of this podcast when you said one day, and in my head I was like, I wonder if he's going to talk about this. The opener is still referencing, I guess, Jando, who used to work on the show as a newsreader. That was over a year ago now.
I feel like it's one of those things that falls in my survey break sort of like back burner pile.
Yeah, sure.
And I just didn't get to it in time.
Can I ask you, can I get almost a promise from you?
This is the forum.
That let's see out the end of the year with this.
Okay, yeah.
And then if
it's not ruin a good thing.
If this makes if the Producers Podcast gets a green light for next year, that we get a different opener.
I don't know if we got a green light to start this, but yet here we are.
Well, this is the thing.
A year and a bit down the track.
But yes, very different show today. Kendall obviously has been filling in this week, and then yourself out on the streets. I noticed it, especially when we're doing Throwback Throwdown, because usually it's the four in studio who pick. And we had two people voting on behalf of...
Yeah, two completely different ones voting. But, that's the thing. It's a next soldier up mentality. And Mitch going in for Buzz. I like what he did.
In the Excel spreadsheet, I had to italicize and put an asterisk next to two different cells. Because obviously...
Now, as we know under the rules, when someone fills in for someone, we play on.
We do.
Again, the integrity of this competition remains above all. So
we've only had two...
exhibition rounds.
Exhibition rounds. One was when Suze was away and there was no one to step in for her.
Yep.
And then the other one was when Ash was away.
But
they picked on his behalf, and it was a lousy pick.
Yep, that was a stitch up, and I'm uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, me too. So I'm glad we're on the same page. We are talking about Throwback Throwdown. Should we go through the picks?
Yeah, we'll go through the picks. I might as well just give you an update right now. Don't forget to head to our story, Ash, Lachie, and Susie O'Neill.
Have you voted, Nick?
I haven't voted yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't voted yet because I heard them play the song that I would have voted for.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what? That's what I would have got. Like, obviously, we always have our own sort of picks. And,
yes. Well, I know which one I've thrown my support behind, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Great call.
I love a boy band.
Yeah, me too.
There's something just so good about a boy band.
I think I've mentioned on this podcast before that when I was a kid, I wanted to be in a boy band.
Me too.
Yep.
Me too. There's something...
We're products of our time, Lachie, absolutely.
We really are. And the last greatest boy band, I will say, was One Direction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know that there's been... There's in the K-pop world, there's a bunch of different groups, but, I mean... As far as mainstream, international appeal,
I think that was the revival, and I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we can reinvent it again. As I said, like K-pop is on a different level when it comes to that sort of stuff, and their like synced up dance moves are ridiculous. I don't think we'll ever see that again. But I still remember like when One Direction just sort of come onto the scene, and NSYNC reunited at the I think it was the VMAs.
Yeah.
and Justin Timberlake dropped this line, let's show these young boys how it's done. I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that was seriously cool. Lost a bit of street cred now, JT, but that's okay.
No. And if he did that again, I think people would cringe a little bit.
Yeah. The time and place. Okay, so I can tell you right now, that song that was picked by Kendall. 28%, not leading though.
Okay, 28% is pretty
It's in
solid.
second place. Good song.
Yeah, respect. I don't know which order they
go
are
for
in,
it.
but I'm gonna guess that this song is in last
You're correct.
because when I look at the name, I don't know this song really. Anyway, I might have heard it before. This is 1994, so before my time.
Understandable.
But looking at the name, I go, I don't know that.
Yeah, I think it is. I understand it's a visual thing. I know when they sometimes complain that, like, when we did Frozen, I wrote Adina Menzel.
Adina Menzel, yeah.
And like, why did you write Frozen? Like, well, it's not the artist. So
No, I respect that from you.
yeah, so again, integrity above all. I know it's the parody, and what they were trying to draw this morning, I think, was For Weddings and Funeral and Love Actually, both directed by Richard Curtis. That's the common denominator
Sure.
there. But yes, Bill Nighy's character singing that Billy Mack as Christmas is all around. Love Actually is still one of my favourite films of all time.
There you go.
So I have a real connection to that song.
Can I guess?
I don't think it's going to get up.
In third place, this is what I think's happening right now.
Yeah, correct.
A song that I recognise by its name, but this song sounds like it should exist in like a TV show or an ad more specifically.
You'll probably find that it did. Yeah, you make a very good call there. It was actually funny when I was in the car. I was camped up outside in Ipswich. Just quickly got on my laptop so I could put up the story. I wrote in Sheryl Crow. Sunset Boulevard, because I didn't know the name of this song. I've heard it, but you know when you just grab onto what you think the title of a song is?
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, oh, all I want to do. Okay, fair enough.
And that would mean that this song is in first place.
You make the water shoot.
See, I'm happy for Mitch. Great pick. I'm annoyed because the points are going to go to Buzz.
Yeah,
so
no,
Buzz
that's
will
true.
be absolutely cheering at the moment. And again, given Lutzie's former dalliance with Pepper, this should have been a straight hit.
Do you know what we could do? I know you and I are in charge of the, I guess, the
rule keepers, really.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and the scoreboard. We at the moment, we just have 4 columns, and it's Ash, Lutzie, Susie, and Buzz.
Yep.
We could, if we wanted to, go and do a breakdown per person. So, like, when Kendall's filled in, because now this is the second time that she's done Throwback Throwdown, and maybe even third, I can't quite remember.
Kendall Fielding. No, that's right.
Yeah, that
It's not there.
Not quite.
That's all right.
We could almost do like a points per game type situation where you work out how many votes or the percentage of votes. If you really want to get, I can see you smiling right now.
My eyes have just lit up. I'm like, absolutely, this is something that I would definitely spend time doing instead of doing my actual job.
And I knew that would be something of interest to you because
more sports adjacent data entry.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Lachie.
Because
absolutely.
Mitch has also filled in, so we would, I'm sure, be able to work out on average who is actually winning, so that you then can have Mitch competing alongside Buzz and Sue's competing alongside Kendall.
Within that coalition. Yeah, I understand.
So that would be something that
coalition of the filling? No, it's still not.
No, not quite.
Not quite. That's why we test this gear out right now.
Yeah. But that's something that we could work out if you had some extra time up your sleeve in the next couple of weeks. We could.
We'll see how we go.
Because there's only 8 weeks to go after this for Throwback Throwdown.
Oh, gee, we're getting close. I will post a scoreboard tomorrow because I think it's very important that our listeners know where it's up to. I know it's not quite like the Dally M where we hide the votes. We do need to go because it will influence decisions.
Yes.
And I think Buzz has got away with it in the past, knowing that he's ahead, but people not knowing by how far he's ahead.
Yes.
Now, this is a chance for people to track him down. I'm looking at the Throwback Throwdown shield sitting behind Buzz's position right here in the studio.
Yep.
Hastily put together when I decapitated a Nova Boy keyring and stuck it over the head of a children's football trophy.
Yeah, it's quite something.
It's a bit to look at. I'm not gonna lie. So yes, I'll post it up tomorrow after tomorrow's results, and hopefully we can see a really tight end to the year because you want to see it come down to the final day.
You do. At this point in time, though, I think Buzz, I would almost start leading a charge right here, right now.
I reckon people rebuild and start looking at 2025 already.
Well, potentially, or whether you just say, hey, everyone, just make sure that Buzz's song comes last so that it's a little bit more interesting.
You're right. Well, I guess, we are heading into an election period, so we can start, maybe that's the angle we go.
A slander.
Yeah, slander campaign.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because it's not defamation.
No.
It's just slander.
Well, I do know if we're all about slandering Buzz when it comes to Throwback Throwdown, I do know that I send him the list beforehand. And I know that he likes to claim...
Geez, if the public had that information.
He likes to claim, oh, no, I don't really check it beforehand, or I have to pick third. It's like, mate...
You've had time.
You've had
He's
time.
I'm sure he's run the numbers, the special algorithms we have here at Nova. He knows exactly what goes through the speakers well.
Yeah, I mean, he is in music meetings once a week talking about the music that, you know, that we play on Nova. So
he's talking about this in there.
I know. I think that's what the meeting is, really, which, hey, music executives... Scott Baker Smith, if you're listening.
Oh yes, the cabal of music directors we have here. They all wear hooded robes and sit in a cave.
And he just goes, which song should I pick for Throwback Throwdown this week? And that's why he's doing so well.
Now, if the public had that information, we got that out there. Geez, you could really rock his confidence.
Yeah.
If he starts losing and people go, well, mate, you had time.
Yeah.
You had time and you still stuffed it up.
I'd love to see in the comments section.
I'd love to see the Music Man get up.
Yeah. No, that would be nice to see.
Big for his reputation.
I don't think Suze can categorically win. I think she's out of the count.
Yeah, I think she starts rebuilding. There might be a review.
Yeah.
Just an internal review into how selections are done.
Big 2025 coming up.
Huge one coming up. I'd say, and look, personally, my vote this week is going to go to Lachie because the Love Actually angle has worked on me.
Really?
Yeah, wow, absolutely. And again, I keep coming back to this. My position on this is Throwback Throwdown.
Please, let me know your position
Thank
on
you.
this,
And I want to be open and transparent about it as well.
Good.
Yeah, I don't want there to be any misinformation. I love hearing songs that there is no way in hell that we would play.
Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, I think all four of these songs, maybe Shoop. I feel like I've heard Shoop on Nova.
I've heard Shoop.
But the other three, I would all get up for me. In terms of, if that's the metric you're looking at, songs we don't usually play,
I get it.
That, for me, that's why I chose I'll Make Love to You. And you listening right now, if you've been listening to this for the last 5 minutes going, okay, move on.
If you need someone to get you in the mood at 7:50 in the morning, then, well, hey, each to their own. But yes, voting closes in just under 22 hours time.
Wow, incredible. Nick, it was an interesting show for you because, as we alluded to before, you were out on the streets. You chose your location today.
I did. Not often. Usually it's ordained. And I will say to those listeners, again, we take you behind the show. Lachie is actually the one that picks pretty much all of the Mitch on the Street locations.
Well, it's a team effort. I do want to say that Alicia has a part to play, and then if a client is involved, then it might be Samara or Amber from Fun and Games also getting involved in that regard. But on the whole, yes, if it's something like this where we've got tickets and we have to just pick a general location and it's not sold in anywhere, then yes, I do pick. But today, you got to choose, and I will say that...
You gave me the chance, and I realised I had to deliver here.
And
I don't always get the responsibility.
I think you did. I think that the guys were unfair to you, saying that Locomotion was the worst song that she had, and it was not a good location.
I don't think it's a very... Did they say it's a bad location?
Well...
I mean, I don't think it's a great song. Ash was right in saying it's a song that got her sort of going, but I don't think it's one of her best songs.
Look, it's definitely not the best song, but I think it's a pretty iconic Kylie song.
Oh, it's iconic. There's no doubt about it.
Anyway, I do think it's interesting though. You are a self-confessed train nerd.
I love trains.
And I'm not sure how often you've been to the Workshop Rail Museum.
That was actually the first time, and the gates were shut, so I couldn't get in. Just stand at the front.
I mean, that's not surprising. It was, 7:30 in the morning?
No, it could have early bird tours.
I'd noticed that you were late getting back here. Did you stick around and try and break in? Did you stick around to go for a self-guided tour? What was going on?
No. I waited. Again, I did pick quite a remote location, but I did have a couple of people come and find me. I can guarantee that. But I was also having a bit of a chinwag with our winner. He's a bloke from Cork.
Okay.
As we are Brisbane's most Irish show as well.
Yes.
So we got in a bit of Irish chat as someone who, according to his brother's ancestry DNA test, is 52% Irish. So It's nice to talk about the motherland. Anyway, but no, it did take a bit of time. I did see the traffic when I was driving down there going, ooh, this is going to be a tough carry on the way back.
The traffic on did you go Western Freeway or did you go Ipswich Road?
Nah, Western Freeway.
Yeah, okay.
Western Freeway, no one could take the tunnel.
Because they're talking at the moment, because that's where I live, they're talking at the moment about how they're going to try and upgrade that. And they're thinking about creating a tunnel from Darra all the way to Toowong.
I heard about that.
It's an interesting
First of all, can we call that the Barn Me Tunnel?
Well, I mean,
Barn Me Way would be mean.
It would be great. That's political opinions aside about whether that is an effective way of dealing with traffic. But I noticed also, once again, still late coming back, you stopped off for food.
I got hungry, mate.
Where'd you go?
Mount Omni Shopping Centre. I went to Coles.
You went to Coles? I see when you.
I was looking for a cafe in Ipswich, and I couldn't find one on the way, and I nearly took a car out about to pull into the Guzman drive-in, so I was like, that's not a good idea. And all I was looking for was like just a nice little takeaway store, somewhere that looks like,
You drove past Dara. You could have gotten a banh mi.
No, I bypassed Dara. I didn't feel like a banh mi, but then I was like, all right, what does my body need? I'm into rebuilding mode, so I went safe and affordable. But anyway, thank you for scorning me for being late back to the station.
No, that's fine. We just had a very important post-show meeting that you missed out on.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're going to tell me all about it right here.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't. Because Buzz was away, and because there was nothing really to pitch the guys, we said you can go. And Ash was like, I'm going to take this opportunity.
Oh no, I noticed Ash took the early mark.
Yeah,
his car was gone by the time I got back in. Very impressed.
Very much took the early mark. So fascinating. All this week as well, I just want to quickly say we still have Olivia Trivia tomorrow.
Oh, yep.
One more chance to get in the draw to send you down to Sydney to see Olivia Rodrigo in concert.
Livy Rods, baby. Livy Rods.
The trivia questions, might I add, for someone who's had
Are you writing these?
I didn't write them, but I am, I guess, looking over them. Someone else wrote them, and I'm just making sure that they...
I respect them. I think they're good. I like ones where that fans would know the answers.
Yes. Well, that's what we're trying to do.
That's who you want.
The difficulty is that we've been doing this for 2 weeks, technically 3 weeks, if you include the week where Mel and Maddie were getting people in the draw doing the exact same thing to send people to see O-Rod. And
O-Rod?
Well, that's what.
That's great.
That's what we've been calling it.
That's sensational.
O-Rod. Mel and Maddie did Trivia Rodrigo, and then now we're doing Olivia Trivia.
I was going to say, finally, we have a new group trivia name other than Trivia Newton-Jong.
It's true. That's actually a great
Trivia
point.
Rodrigo is sensational.
So it's been 3 weeks of writing Olivia Rodrigo trivia questions. The problem is that her career, she's on the up.
Oh yeah,
but she hasn't had a long career. So to write what is maybe 20 Olivia Rodrigo trivia questions, I think it's even more than that.
Yeah, we're going to get to the point where we're going, what was Olivia's favourite colour when she was 5?
and that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. That's right. We're doing 15 in a week, and so then you're doing close to 40 questions over 3 weeks. Like, that's ridiculous to try and come up with 40 different Olivia Rodrigo questions, isn't it?
That's a lot. I'm not going to say, they ask a lot of you. So,
I mean, we're really, I guess, testing...
Are you coming out of this a fan? It's amazing what's going to stick in your mind. How much Olivia Rodrigo, trivia is going to stay in your mind now?
I was trawling through the Wikipedia yesterday going, what can I ask that hasn't been asked before? And we ended up asking, what label is she signed to?
That was actually a good question.
Which...
I felt a bit, I'm not going to lie, I felt a bit corporate hearing it, but...
Yeah, no, and it did feel a little bit corporate. We'll send that off to our music marketing and music partnerships department so they can send that to the label, I'm sure, as well, so they get a name mention in there. But, at least we've only got one more day, 3 more Olivia Rodrigo trivia questions. I haven't seen what tomorrow's are, but any special requests from you, Nick?
I have no thoughts. I'm sorry, I have absolutely no thoughts on this, but... No, just bring it home. Just finish strong. Finish strong. Okay. I will say just quickly on the topic of trivia, obviously because Sue's off for a couple of weeks. Sue's pre-recorded a lot of answers, so those questions were actually written ahead of time, and
they were.
And you gave me one of the greatest gifts of all when you asked me to help you write some questions.
Yeah, it's actually something that you're not usually invited into that writer's room.
No, I know.
And you were.
Kept on the outside for so long.
And I'll be honest...
And trivia's a great passion of mine.
I did have to rewrite some of the questions.
I know. The bones of them were there.
One of the questions I think you asked was how many O's are in Indooroopilly.
Yeah.
And I changed it to Wollongabba.
I noticed that.
Because Suze lives in Indooroopilly. So that would give her a very unfair advantage... because she spells Indooroopilly probably more, unless Tim from Indooroopilly, who's one of our regular callers, was up against her.
Like Indooroopilly?
Yeah, but I guess if she's spelling it, because if she's ever writing out her address, she would know it maybe more than most.
I like that you're assuming that Sue's writing out letters and stuff. Actually, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, see, and that is the layer. If you think about it, that's how much work we put into these questions.
But in spelling of Wollongabba, I've discovered that there's lots of double letters in that, because it's a double O, double L, there's a double... a double B. There's also a double O again. And I think, is there a double N in? Is it Woolen?
There's been on, mate. Who knows? Who truly knows how it's spelled? The reason they call it the Gabba for short.
Yeah. Because having to spell out Wollongabba every single time.
Yeah, well, that's what I realised. I'm very conscious of making questions too long for Ash to read out. Because obviously, there's X amount of time.
This is true.
X equals 30. There's 30 seconds for him to read them out. And as a man that sometimes trips over words,
Yep.
I'd make it nice and easy for him.
I've liked that yesterday they had the Tiber River
I saw that.
in Rome, and when he initially
One
asked
of my questions.
Suze, yes, I
went hard on the geography questions.
You really did. When he asked Suze, when we were pre-recording, he called it the Tiber River, and then he correctly then readjusted for the person who he asked yesterday. So I like that even we're getting different pronunciations between the two times.
Just keep him on his toes. Either way, I love that, and that's the thing. It could just fall either side because Ash truly doesn't know which one it is. We put these words in front of him. Like this morning when he pronounced Guyana correctly straight away.
Yeah.
Also, I love that both listener and Suze took the bait and went, oh, it sounds like it'd be in Africa. Guinea. Yeah. That was exactly what I wanted them to do.
And that feels about right from you. Nick, anything else exciting coming up towards the end of the week? What do you
look, honestly, Lachie, you and I have to start thinking and we have to start scheming our costumes.
Yes.
There's a lot of thought put in it. Usually, for example, our Christmas party last year, we've gone the group costume.
Yeah.
We may look down at that. I know, Buzz wanted to go all out on that. We're never doing that again.
Maybe we can just reuse the same costume.
I think we have to go just, cost per wear for our Australian Test cricketers outfits. We're really going to have to get that down because Buzz just wanted way too much authenticity about it.
That's true.
How much to get the Australian badge sign on? Like, no, mate, please. We are not on the same pay grade. We can't do this.
Do you reckon anyone's actually going as Oasis?
It's a very good idea. Here's a joke that I'm going to pitch right now.
Okay.
And
that's
and hopefully it's going to come up in the show tomorrow. So this is my writer's room right now.
Here we go. Let's do
I want to do. I don't know how to phrase this yet, but I want to get into Kendall's ear and go. Kendall, I was thinking you stick with the nautical theme and go as Kendall Sailor. Great one, Nick.
Oh, was I meant to laugh there?
Oh, I mean, look, I don't know if the reference went over your head. It's a bit old for you, but I think it's brilliant.
No, I get the reference.
You chose.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, I get the reference. Wendell Sailor, son being Tristan Sailor, who plays for the Broncos.
Okay, pulling out the Wikipedia page isn't fun, but okay, fair enough.
No, that's not bad.
I was always thinking she could lean into Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'm just Kendall.
No, that's good.
Because I was like, let's use this forum to start guessing other people's outfits. Or start coming up with ideas.
I think someone should come as Oasis, but then if you have too many people dressing up as Oasis, then it becomes not funny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like when everyone has the same idea. You go, ugh.
Yeah, and then you start judging.
Or someone sees a costume that they find funny online and they go, I'll replicate it, but then someone else has seen that exact same thing.
The worst thing at any costume party, and given that I had Silly Saturday a couple of weeks ago, first of all, we had two people go as Hulk Hogan, so naturally we made each other wrestle who was going to be Hulk.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, I may start Fight Club on the Oasis. Who knows? First Rule Fight Club, don't talk about it. But the worst thing is when you turn up in a costume and no one knows what it is.
Yeah.
Having to explain what your costume is. I mean, it's party suicide. It's just not okay.
Oh, that's almost as bad as people who just rock up wearing a t-shirt and say I forgot my costume or something like that.
It's not even clever.
Yeah,
it's not even clever. Well, when it's funny,
so lame.
when I put that poll out, because I think there's 4 options. There's 4 ways you can go with a Halloween party: spooky, scary, mean girl, slutty, clever. I'm gonna break clever and topical into 2 different things because there's pun-based ones, which are usually pretty good. Or social commentary. There's topical, which is usually a reflection of what's happened that year, whatever's in vogue.
Yep.
And then there's that category. And when I put that out, guess which member of our show clicked that category?
Lachie.
No, Suze.
Really?
Suze like, I put the option, I'm boring. I hate dressing up.
Okay. Interesting.
So I'm going to be pushing Suze pretty hard on this.
There you go. One thing I actually don't want to see, and maybe this is just
get it out there now, mate.
No, and this is just a personal thing. I don't want to see any ray gun.
Yeah, as soon as ray gun happened, I'm like, oh jeez, we're going to see a few ray guns around Halloween.
Do you know what it is? It's maybe it's because internet culture happens so quickly.
Yes.
That I think if
but remember, Lachie, we're pretty into. The problem is we're pretty into internet culture, so we're aware of the time frames.
Yeah.
Other people are not.
And
I've had to be okay with this. I'm like, all right, yeah, fair enough.
I think if some people rock up as Moo Deng,
Moo Deng would be a good one. Hok Tour Girl will be there.
Hok Tour Girl.
Absolutely, she'll be there.
I can see people dressing up as Hok Tour Girl. What else? Internet culture is. I mean, the there was a Bridgerton ball that absolutely flanked, and then also
the Willy Wonka experience.
the Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow.
That's an easy one. Yeah, I think there was like Pedestrian the other day that posted their top 10 ideas. So you're going to see more of that through the year. You're always going. I guarantee you, I'll put a bet on with you right now. I don't know what the stakes are. Someone will wear a Broncos jersey.
Yeah.
Just statistically speaking, someone will wear their good Broncos jersey to this occasion. Because I reckon their thoughts are, we'll have a Bronco on the boat, and they'll think they'll meet them.
That's true.
Statistically speaking, there is always one Broncos jersey at a Brisbane event.
That's not a bad guess. I'm trying to think of people who've like resurrected their, because a lot of people like to go the kind of the dark spooky thing.
What if Susie just wore? I was going to say wore a white sheet. That's probably problematic. But she was like Boozy O'Neill, which also leans into the drinking. So responsibly, of course.
That's
I'm having a bad show. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rusty.
Yeah,
I'm thrown by my cross.
I think back to the drawing board. Yeah. We'll go and work out some slightly better.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna something we talked about earlier this week. I'm gonna mention on Friday's podcast because I've gone through a bit of an identity crisis this week.
Yes,
but I think it's better if Alicia's here for it too.
I have giggled to myself about that.
Yeah,
numerous times.
So I reckon you've seen it as well.
Yeah. I
keep an eye out for it because it's going to keep happening too.
No, I wonder whether you're overthinking things a little bit, but that's
Lachie. I overthink everything. Of course, I'm overthinking it.
Well, let's go and overthink some costume designs, and we'll be back on Friday, no doubt, with Alicia. Hopefully.
Good wrap. That was tight.
Thank you.
That was a tight close. Well done.
Thank you.